Hey gamers, Guilty here with another walkthrough guide. This time we're doing Silent Hill 2, and this is one of my favourite games from my childhood. In this video I'll show you how to complete the first section of the game, including Neely's bar, how to complete the jukebox puzzle and collect all the parts for it, and we'll progress all the way up to the Woodside Apartments, which will be the upcoming guide after this. The first stretch of the game requires you to trek to Silent Hill, where your wife wants to meet you in her special place. There aren't any missables on the way there, so you can focus on taking in the atmosphere. You'll eventually come across the red paper you see here, and this is something you'll grow familiar with throughout the game, as this is how you'll save. Shortly down the path, a cutscene will play warning you about entering Silent Hill, but you insist that you must go. When you're in control of James again, head forward to the water and then to your left, where you'll follow another long path. When you come across this door here, you'll need to find the keys to unlock it. Take your immediate left, where you'll find the key in the building. However, the front door is locked, but reading the note will give you a clue on how to get in. This is also an important element of the game, as the notes often hold clues on what to do next.
Hello? Anyone in here?
When in the room right in front of you is the auto parts key in the drawer. Pick it up and you can now leave through the door you saw before. Note that red latches like this indicate that you can interact with an object. Use the key and once again you'll have to follow a winding path, but don't worry about walking too much because this will change once we get into town. The game actually has multiple endings, but the items you need for them will only spawn in subsequent playthroughs. After a while you'll finally beat the running simulator and we can get down to business. Here we'll find a map of the streets of Silent Hill and you can open this up at any time. I only recommend opening the map when you're not near an enemy because the game doesn't pause when you do this. The streets are a semi-open world, so you can explore them how you wish. Some areas have enemies and some have items. Across the road, for example, is a shop with a note that gives some lore in the game. And this is one of the many shops you don't actually have to enter because it has no key items in there.
What is this?
This is where the game gets dark. We now need to follow a mysterious blood trail through the streets. Again, you can explore the streets for any optional items if you wish, but note that the game will have no enemies until you get your first weapon. A cutscene will play showing you a monster in the fog, and James is curious, so we now need to chase what he saw to confirm his sanity.
Hey! Wait!
Continue following the blood trail and go to the left behind the suburban houses. I might make a video explaining the lore behind Silent Hill and its enemies, as it's quite complex and dark.
Hello?
The monster will make a mess trying to get away from you, but you'll eventually find refuge in a house where you can follow it blindly. Here you can find your second save location, and you might need it because dying is now a possibility. Behind the door you can find your first nutrient drink, which is an iconic health item in the Silent Hill franchise. Continue through the doors and the hallway and you'll hear some white noise getting louder as you approach. This is where you'll encounter your first enemy, and the item making the noise, the radio, will forever indicate when an enemy is nearby, so keep an ear out from now on. This cute guy seems to be stuck in some kind of material. He needs help, and the best way to do this is to use a wooden plank to get him to calm down. Use your health item to heal your wounds, and notice you aren't built like Doom Guy, so combat isn't your strong suit. My advice is to choose your fights carefully, sometimes it's better to avoid them completely. Okay, continue through here, and you can open this box for a syringe, and the syringe is basically a health potion, but it gives you more health. I guess it's a better one. After a quick cutscene, you'll be here on the map, and you can turn this corner, and continue down a little bit and you'll find an item on a corpse, and this will be your next clue on what to do next. It's a little matchbook saying Neely's bar, and this is where we're going to go next. James will conveniently update the map for you and we'll need to head in that direction, but be wary as the enemy you just fought are now everywhere on the streets. There's a third save point to your right there where the enemy crawled out of, so use that if you need. Now hopefully you made it to Neely's bar safely. Whether you fought the enemy or not, that's entirely up to you, but we can enter the shop now, and this is where another puzzle will be. There's a save point on the wall, but read this note because this will mark some locations on the map that we need to go to get the key items. So if you come over to this part of the shop, we can uncover the jukebox, and this will be the major puzzle for this section of the game. On the jukebox, take the broken vinyl record because you'll need to glue this to the other part once we find it. Exit the store, and on the map there are some locations circled for us to go to find the parts to fix the jukebox. It doesn't matter which one you go to first. I went to the Saul Apartments down to the south. When you enter the building there are a couple enemies, but you might be able to ignore them. They're just insects, they don't really hurt you that much, and you can kill them in one hit. Come here and start pushing this item here so we can get into the room. And into the next room we'll find some apartment keys on the shelving here. This is room number 5 and that's the room we need to go to. It's upstairs, not too far away. Again, this is another red latch you can use to unlock a shortcut. And there are some more enemies here, but you may be able to ignore them. Come up the stairs, and just a reminder that little radio noise means there's an enemy nearby. So come to here and we'll find room number 5. Use the apartment key to open it up. If you keep following the passages around, you'll eventually come to this room after climbing some stairs outside through some windows, and then you'll find this little hole in the toilet. Now for some reason, James just puts his hand right into it, but this is exactly what we need to do to get the item. So this is a little jukebox button. It's one of the buttons that we're missing, and it's exactly the one we need to press. So now that we got that, we can get the vinyl record, the other half. Down the ladder we can find the gate back to the streets, and this is where we can go to Groovy music. If we look on our map, we just head towards there. So now that we're here, enter the store, and there are 2 enemies in here, so be wary of that. There is a note here, but don't get caught off guard. When you open it here, the enemies can still hit you. So in this case, I'm going to just avoid them. If you're on an easier difficulty or you're up for a challenge, you can kind of fight them. And in this room, you'll find 2 items. One is the super glue, and then the other half of the broken vinyl. So now you can either kill the enemies again, or you can hop out that window or use the door to exit the building. I'm just going to rush out of there, and note that the enemies actually can't follow you between the streets and the buildings. They're bound to either one or the other. The final location you need for the jukebox is actually in the Texan cafe on Cat Street. So come here and enter the store, and you'll find it in the cash register. Simply twist the key, press the button, and you'll find the coin inside. Now be careful because this will spawn an enemy near you. Break the glass here for a nutrient drink if you need it. You don't need to battle this one again, it's something you can avoid. And I probably recommend avoiding most of them. Now that we got all the parts, come back to the jukebox, open up your inventory, go to the key items, and you have to use the glue on both of the broken vinyls. So combine all the items here, and apparently that makes vinyls work. Not sure that happens in real life, but it works here. So depending on what difficulty you chose at the start of the game with the puzzles, this may change, but on the normal difficulty, which is what I'm doing now, I just press a bunch of random combinations until it works. As you can see, they're not budging, but as soon as you press the right one a few times, the lever triggers and then you can open the vinyl. So this is where we placed the glue vinyl record on. And then we come to another puzzle where we must fix the machine. So I'm going to put the red button that we had on there, and we need to insert the coin now too. So now we select the blue button because that's where the vinyl's sitting, and number 2, so C2 is exactly where it is, and this will start playing the record, and what this will do is it will reminisce James's memories, or spark a memory, so he remembers where Mary and his special place was meant to be, and it's in the park. This will also unlock a key from the jukebox, and this is the Neely's bar key, and it unlocks the door just to the right here. So now we can progress through the game. Open that up, and then you want to head to the right. If you move this box, you'll be able to climb it up through a window up top. There's a medical supply here, so that's a nutrient drink you should pick up. And there's another note, and this will tell you pretty much what to do next. So there's a number plate ending with 6, with a greenish bluish car, and once we go out to the car park, we'll find where that is. So if you check the map here, it tells you to go where the question mark is, and that's pretty much where the car is. So we're going to hop in the store here, ignore the other cars, and you can see on this car, it's a greenish bluish colour, and the number plate ends with 6, so we're in the right place. So go to this jacket and you'll pick up a key. This is the Woodside Apartments key, but be careful because a lot of enemies have now spawned. This is one of those times that you should not fight. So not only did more enemies spawn, but the fog seems to have intensified. If you check your map again, we need to find the Woodside Apartments, which is on the left side of the map. So we're going to just beeline straight down the street until we get there. And there's a lot of enemies on the streets, and I would recommend avoiding them as well. Come to the Woodside Apartments right here on the map. You can pick up this, it's optional, but you got that key from the jacket, we can use it on the door now, and this will get us to the next area of the game. The next episode will be the Woodside Apartments, so if you haven't done already, please hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you then. Bye!